Welcome to Fitzdog Radio. Nice to see you. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Los Angeles. I'm going to go over to Amber J's having a cookout, then heading down to Irvine for the Improv. This will be my last night there. The Irvine Improv, great club, fun people. Had some assholes in the front row last night. They got thrown out. That was kind of a scene. I like throwouts. I really do. I feel like you're not doing your job as a comic if some people aren't walking out or getting thrown out. If you're not getting slapped in the face at the Oscars, you're not doing your fucking job. You got to be upsetting people a little bit. And I was doing some abortion jokes, and well, they don't always go over that well with everybody. I mean, Irvine is Orange County, which is, Republican. And so some of my stuff didn't go over. Anyway, it was a good weekend, though. We fucking packed them in. And it's like a 650-seat club. And we were packing them in. So thanks for coming out and checking out the show and buying my pins. I've got to head to New York on Wednesday morning. My wife's Aunt Jo in the Bronx. I've talked about her on the show. I've had her on the show. I've called her multiple times because I just always thought she was such a character, and she's such a slice of life from, mid-century Bronx. She was born in the same. Well, my mom was born and I was born in a neighborhood one section over from them, or you used to say one parish in the Bronx. You go by parish. That's how you identify your neighborhood because it's so Catholic. And we were St. Benedict's, and but they shared a parish with us. My Aunt Jo went to school with my mom, and so did Aaron's mom. Went to the same high school as my mother. And Jo was just a character. She was like, she wasn't racist, but she was aware of your race. Everybody was identifying. Oh yeah, the Puerto Rican guy helped me out with my peach tree, and I bought my car from the black guy up at the on Parkchester, and everything was. But it was never mean spirited. It was just how people in an area that had waves of migration coming in. People identified themselves that way, and she had a garden in the back. She was 95 years old, so she just passed yesterday. She was 95 years old, and she was going strong until about 6 months ago. I mean, she was up. She did her garden. She ran the house and was born in the house that she died in, was physically born in the house, and never lived anywhere except for that house in her entire life. Is that insane? And retired 30 years ago. And I don't know what the fuck but she's always busy. I'd call her up to check in, and she'd be like, I can't talk right now. I'm busy with no, you're not busy. I think she just, maybe she had no attention span or whatever. But when we visited her, we'd stay with her. She would just talk all night. She'd drink a couple beers and get to talking about everybody in the neighborhood. And I feel like with her dying, we're losing this oral history of that neighborhood of the Bronx. And, Aunt Seal lived in this house and she raised these kids, and, it'll be sad. So I got to get my suit. I pulled my suit out. It had fucking mold on it because I haven't worn a suit since before the pandemic. So I brought that to the dry cleaners yesterday, and I had to go get my shoes shined. They had mold on them. My closet's got a little mold. And so we'll head off to New York, and we're going to actually stay in her house because we have to prepare it to sell it. So we got to empty out the basement. Is just filled with crap. And one of the bedrooms is filled with storage, and so we're going to have to go through it. Aaron's brother is just flew in from South Africa, so he's going to help out. And, you see what a house in the Bronx goes for these days. But I think it's got mold also, and who knows? We have to get it inspected and do all that bullshit. Anyway, so... as of today, when this podcast comes out, Norm Macdonald's special will be out on Netflix. So check it out. It's called Not Special. I think it's called Not Special. And we've talked about it on Sunday Papers. I think I talked about it here. He recorded it alone in his house with Lori Joe, and I cannot wait to see it. On my timeline, it comes out tomorrow. So I'm waking up tomorrow morning and watching it. What else? Listen to the new Wilco album today. It's called Cruel Country. It's really nice. It's mellow. It's contemplative. I would say the people that like country music would like it, but they may not like the lyrics. It's not the most pro-American album, but it is a country album, which makes it sort of a dichotomy, an oxymoron, a contradiction, I don't know what else to say. It's a great album. Check it out. And I'm going to keep this quick because David Feldman, I just had on last week, and I'm so fucking psyched that he's on the show again. It's always amazing. He is just truly a funny, dark, twisted human being who I love. We had some overheards. This came from Jim O'Brien, Lincoln Hardware in Venice, which is my hardware store. It's just up the street from my house. It's a great old school hardware store. No bullshit. It's just nuts and bolts and some guys that will tell you how to, repair your sprinkler or how to insulate your attic. Like they'll walk you through it. They're great. So anyway, he walked into Venice Hardware or Lincoln Hardware, and he heard two guys behind the register talking to each other. One guy says, quote, "You don't have to be a lady to wear them." 2022, old guys in a hardware store willing to cross-dress. I respect that. I have to go in and see how these guys are dressed. Maybe there's been a big change over at Lincoln Hardware. Converse Productions wrote in, while waiting outside the Philly Police Department permit office in a less than ideal neighborhood, a woman says to another one, quote, "Are they going to ask me for ID?" And before woman two can answer, "Oh, I got my mugshot. Never mind." That would be a great headshot. I got to get a mugshot taken. I got to get arrested so I can get a mugshot, and then I can use that as my new headshot. Because I'm a badass. Today's show sponsored by Masterworks. I don't say this a lot, but I'm about to throw some money at Masterworks, and I'll tell you why. I talk about investing on this show a lot, different ways you can put your money away. What Masterworks unlocked is absolutely amazing. It's a platform that allows you to invest in their $1.7 trillion art and collectible market. Since the art market's projected to go up by $1 trillion by 2026, it gives investors who own artwork the potential to multiply their wealth. And since art is nearly non-correlated with stocks, you can own an asset that has the potential to go up in value even when the market tanks, which I think it's about to do. I don't know. I don't know about the stock market anymore, but I know about this stuff. That's why I think that one of the real few great investments today that allows you to defend and grow your wealth, and that's why I'm absolutely floored at what Masterworks has been able to do. Here's another thing. They let you own shares in art masterpieces so you don't need to be a millionaire to invest. In other words, you can invest in them at a price point that works for you. They buy Masterworks, Picasso, Van Gogh, and then it's like a mutual fund where you have shares in it. Our listeners get VIP access to skip their wait list. Just go to masterworks.com and use promo code Fitzdog at sign up. Again, that's masterworks.com, promo code Fitzdog at sign up. See important Regulation A disclosures at masterworks.com/CD. Also today, I want to talk about CBD. They're not all the same, people. I get a lot of samples from being a comedian. CBD companies are always like there handing stuff out. Some of it says it doesn't have THC, but it makes you high, which I don't always want. Sometimes I just want some stress relief. Sometimes I want some physical pain. I have like an achy joint, and the CBD really helps, but I got shit to do. I don't want to be high sometimes. So Certified Brands Group was founded by scientists that were sick and tired of all the BS CBD products. They created their own brand that actually works. Zen relief and recovery. If you have trouble sleeping, they've got, oh my God, they've got this trinity of sleep tinctures. It combines CBD and CBG and CBN for the best night's sleep. It puts you right at, makes you so mellow and soft, contains 0 THC. Certified Brands products are triple tested to ensure purity. What's on the box is what's in the bottle. It just works. I have a special offer only for Fitzdog listeners. Go to www.tryzen.com. That's XEN. And use code FITZ for $25 off your order. That's www.tryxen.com. Use promo code FITZ at checkout for $25 off your order. Okay, let's get to it. Short intro today. David Feldman is my guest. He is a guy he's written on it's a great show. He's won a bunch of Emmys, wrote on Roseanne, Dennis Miller Live forever, Real Time with Bill Maher, The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. It goes on and on. He's amazing. He wrote for the Academy Awards. He wrote for the Emmys. He writes for Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, all the roasts on Comedy Central. So he's also appeared as a great stand-up. He's been on Conan and The Tonight Show and Corden and all those shows. So anyway, here he is on the show once again. It always stirs up interest. People love it. Here's David Feldman. Now, I mean, the fact that you're coming to me from inside of the set of the I Dream of Jeannie's bottle is amazing to me.
Yes, master.
Like,
you want to see my navel? Want to see my belly button?
dude, what a wet dream that was for teenage boys. I Dream of Jeannie, a woman who you could command to do anything. And when you're tired of her, you stick a fucking cork in it, take it out. You hold her against her will?
It was Barbara Eden, too.
She was gorgeous.
She still is. At what age? At what age would you say no? How old is too old? You've already told us on the last show how young is too young, and there are about 40 states you're not allowed back into. But how old is too old?
Well, I mean, it depends on, I'm looking at the prospect of being married for the rest of my life. I'm currently having sex with a 56-year-old woman, which I never thought I would. So I would imagine when I'm 81, I'm going to be having sex with an 81-year-old woman.
Right, right.
And that's grotesque to me. But at that time, it will probably seem delightful.
Right. Because your eyes are shot, your sense of smell is shot.
Right.
Yeah. So there's an age of consent, but they never.
There's a reason why our vision and our hearing and our smell go away as we get older. It's so we'll stay with the same person for life.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And our memory, so you can forget why they're so fucking annoying. So they have the age of consent.
Yeah.
We know how young they have to be, but there's no age of. No fucking way. Nobody has established in each state what the age of no fucking way. Are you kidding me?
The age of descent.
The age of descent.
What's
Barbara
the oldest
Eden.
woman you've had sex with?
I'm sorry?
What's the oldest woman you've had sex with?
Wait a second now. Am I going to get into trouble here?
That's the first time you've said it on the podcast. And we're only 6 minutes in.
Does sneaking into nursing homes with chloroform and ether count, or is that just my criminal activity?
And that coincidentally is her name, Ether. Your Honor, she's literally named Ether. What did I do wrong?
Actually, since I apologize for this. I thought I had it. I'm at my mother's house. It's her birthday.
How old is
my
she
mother.
today?
That's the oldest woman I've ever had sex with. How could I forget? It was at the tip of my tongue, just like she was. Can I do this?
It's on the tip of your tongue.
Can I do this? Or are we going to just...
Oh, no, we must. We must. We're the last ones that are doing it. We can't stop now. You think Dennis Miller is doing this shit?
I saw you. I'm not going to tell you what you said. I'm not going to tell you what show you were on. About a year ago, I was watching you, and you said something I could not believe. It made me laugh so hard. It was so fearless. And I went, wow. Like, yes. What am I afraid of? After I heard what you went, I went, wow.
What did I say?
I don't.
You're not even going to say it.
But I went,
because the thing is you can say something in 2022. In 2023, they may rehash it and decide, no, now it's not okay. Well, then stamp the date on everything I say.
Right.
So I know it has an expiration date, and you can give it the context that, he said it when it was allowed to be said.
Right. Hey, I'm all for the cancel culture. It's been, listen, Saget died, Norm died, Gilbert died. All these comics are getting canceled. It's just a matter of time before my phone starts ringing again. I'm telling you, I think I'm going to start playing better rooms if the way this is trending.
So this is your career strategy. A lot of guys sit down and they go, I'll do more social media. Maybe I'll hire a publicist. But you just go, no, I'm going to outlive these motherfuckers.
Well, I do social media. I scrub everybody's Twitter account and look for reasons to cancel them. Going through yours. You have some nice gigs coming up that I wouldn't mind. So I've been going through, doing some deep cuts.
Yeah.
Back to 2012, when we were still joking about, we won't. I won't
can't even say what we were joking about.
I won't go there.
Well, let's talk about who you are, because most of my podcast listeners have heard you on here many times. And I would say, honestly, some of the best episodes I've done are with you.
I agree. The best episodes I've ever done with you. And I always say we should do it all the time, but then I think it wouldn't be as special.
Yeah.
Kind of like sex with your wife. For me.
Oh, for you. Yeah. Because it's special for me every time, but I'm not doing it as often as you are.
No, we don't need to. That's something that's between you, me, and the New York Mets. Can I do that? Am I offending you?
The worst is when they're double teaming her and one guy is giving signals. The catcher's doing this between his legs. All right, David Feldman.
Is your wife going to get mad that I made those jokes?
My wife has literally never once listened to my podcast. She sees me do stand-up once a year at my St. Patrick's Day show, only because everybody in our neighborhood goes, and so she feels some pressure to show up. Okay. I feel really guilty. I love you. I do.
Yeah. And I was looking forward to this because we were going back and forth and I couldn't wait to do this, but it's my mother's birthday and I have some equipment set up.
Yeah.
Dildos, swing chairs, jumper cables, a battery. And no, I have some podcasting equipment that I haven't used since the pandemic.
Yeah.
I haven't really, and so I thought 2 hours I can set it up, but she was using my microphone.
She was using it. Right.
What, you're talking about my mother using an 8-inch microphone as a dildo?
With a big steel mesh thing on the head of it.
This is the woman who used to give you discounts on blowjobs. This is how you talk about my mother? Didn't she?
The best thing is she would give me the discount, but she would still give it 100%. Play with the balls. She'd look me right in the eyes. Dead stare.
I used to walk in on her and I say, Mom, I think you're just doing this for the fucking. I don't think this has anything to do with paying for my college. I think you're just doing this because you like to fuck. You know, that my mother is in the other room. If she heard this, she'd be laughing hysterically.
Would she? She'd be laughing?
Oh, my God. Yeah. She died 4 years ago. I just keep her in the house in bond. She tells me what to do. We have a little hotel in New Jersey.
So how old is she today?
She's pushing 90.
She's pushing 90.
She's pushing 90.
Okay. Oh.
Gallons of jizz.
The best part is her hands are so old and soft, like the fingerprints are gone. It's just the flesh is just so gentle on your body.
Now, I don't know how you were raised, but this is how I this is how I talk to my mother, because she loves me so much. She's so obsessed with me. And at some point you go, okay, you know, I'm 30 years old. Do I still have to bring my bowel movements to her in a mason jar so she can catalog? I mean, I am her project. And the only way I can push her away is by talking filth. Like, let's go all the way, Mom. You know, let's just, you love me this much. I've never met a woman who loves me as much as you do. I've been divorced a couple of times. Freud says, you're the one I want. Let's go. And that kind of pushes her back a little because she can suffocate me.
That's amazing. And do you do it in front of other people or just when you're alone with her?
My mother will suffocate me just to heighten my orgasms. She just tighten that belt around my very suffocating. That's a good one. You can do that. That's my gift to you. You can do that in your act.
It only works for a Jew comic.
That's right.
Yeah. No, Irish moms are suffocating as well, but you guys
not like
have
Jewish. Jewish mothers are they're a work of art.
Yeah,
they really are. They're like a Mapplethorpe photograph with a fist going up your ass. They're a work of art.
Do you think it's because the Jews call themselves the chosen people, like that your mother thinks you're that much more special than the non-Jewish kids?
You know, the thing about the chosen people is that we were chosen by God to be a light unto the world.
Right.
And then charge a lot for that light. Like own the power source. So we're the light. We were chosen to teach the world the Torah. It's not like we're special. It's actually a burden.
They burn like a light.
They burn. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why we call ourselves the chosen people.
Chuck Sklar had a joke. He said, he goes, "We are the Jews. We're the chosen people, unless it comes to sports, when we're the last chosen people."
See, I have this idea about like 80% of American Jews are fantastic. Yeah, and I'm really proud of them.
Sure,
you're married, aren't you? Married to one of the 80%?
She's half Jewish and half Irish.
Half Jewish and half Irish. So she...
Come on. It's the Late Show Friday. They're getting tired. They need a real zinger.
My wife is half Jewish and half Irish. So the only way I can get her to swallow my semen is if I convince her it's foam, leftover foam from my beer. Is that even close to... No. My wife is half Jewish and half Irish.
So, is there a circumcision joke in there?
She drinks so much she can perform her own liver transplant because she's a Jew.
Yeah.
Anyway, 20% of Jews voted for Trump.
Because of his stance on Israel?
No, because 20% of Jews are ignorant and racists.
Yeah.
So I have this idea to save America that I want to run by you.
Oh, good.
We put the Jews in charge.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Because
go ahead. Right? They're not already?
Yeah, but you're not supposed to know that.
Okay.
Who told you about that?
I think Corolla let me know.
Are you reading your wife's mail? Like, don't come to the World Trade Center today, 9/11, to stay home. Were you married to her when the memo went out? Stay home on 9/11?
She used to work there. And I thought that day, I'm like, why the fuck did you not go to work that day? It was fucking weird.
Wait, was she worked there that day?
Yes, she worked on the top floor of the World Trade Center. And on 9/11, she said to me, and she didn't seem sick. And she just like held her stomach and said, I can't go in today.
And then she
started deleting emails.
And said, Allah Akbar. Is that true? Or are you just doing it?
No.
Because
we lived in LA at the time.
But my third wife actually did work at the World Trade Center.
She did, really?
Yeah. And I remember she kissed me goodbye. She borrowed my Palm Pilot. And then the tower came down with her in it. And I thought, what kind of vengeful God would take my Palm Pilot with the names of all my old girlfriends in it on the day I'm finally free from this woman?
Oh, is that, I think Alanis Morissette could have fit that into that song. Isn't it ironic?
And I was down at Ground Zero walking around. Yeah. Have you seen my Palm Pilot? And I put up pictures. Has anybody seen this Palm Pilot? It had the names of 20 ex-girlfriends. Has anybody seen? That's why it's hard to believe there's a God.
Yeah, right. And they say never forget. And you literally did forget all those girls' names. Oh, Jesus. That would have been. Can you imagine, like, who was the guy? Oh, there was a comic. I'm not going to say his name because I actually really like him. He said he was in the towers and, like, he left them that day or something.
What, the one who got into trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has an Italian last name?
Yeah.
And he claimed that, like, he was a survivor of the towers.
Yeah, that he was in the towers that day. And I forget what the story was. But it was just so crazy because, like, you know, we all lie. Every one of us fucking lies. And then how deep you go into that lie sometimes is in steps. Like at one point, he probably just said, yeah, I was in New York City because I don't think he was even in the city. He said, I was in New York City on 9/11. And then some DJ probably heard that. And so he asked him about it when he was in Cincinnati. And so he probably went a little bit deeper. And he goes, actually, yeah, I was walking near the towers. And now he's in Lexington, Kentucky a few months later. And hey, I heard you were, yeah, I was in the tower. And it just kept getting deeper and deeper. And then it came out and he got, so humiliated. That's just, And
he becomes the bad guy. Not Muhammad Atta.
Right.
It's the guy who lies about being in the tower. Would you have jumped? What would you have done? Smoke or jumping?
I would have. Well, you know the old joke about there's two guys sitting in a bar and one guy sits next to they don't know each other. And the guy says, he goes, if the world was about to end and you knew you had 10 minutes left, what would you do? And the second guy goes, I would fuck the first thing that moved. What would you do? And the first guy goes, I would stay very still. It's a Jonathan Katz joke. I think I would try to get laid. I'd probably fuck the first thing that moved for sure.
I would masturbate.
Why wouldn't you want to fuck somebody? You enjoy yourself that much?
I wouldn't want to share this moment with anybody, and that would be in the end. First of all, I couldn't get laid in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's like 3 dates.
Yeah.
The woman would say there'd have to be, I'll see you now, then the next apocalypse, and then maybe after the third apocalypse, you can give me a peck on the cheek.
That'd be the amazing thing is if you just rape somebody because you realize you don't have time for the 3 dates, you don't have time for foreplay, so you just rape, and because you don't believe in an afterlife, and then the second you die, you're just standing in front of a fucking jury of people that just look at what you did in your final 10 minutes, right. And you have to account for yourself.
Right. I don't think I'd be a good rapist.
No.
I think I would need to be, I need an emotional connection.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think.
Well, have you thought about date rape?
Yeah, but I was date raped in prison.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I met a nice guy in prison. He said, "Meet me in the shower," and it was horrible.
And you had no idea.
I had no idea.
You just thought we were going to the shower.
I thought we were just going to soap each other up and blow one another. I didn't know it was going to be. Have I been canceled yet? Is this it for me now?
What's the closest you ever came to getting canceled? Because by some stretch of fucking reality, you've not been canceled, from my understanding.
Right. I'm not going to say.
Wait, what roast joke would you say is the most scandalous roast joke that you ever wrote that got performed? Because you've written for a bunch of the roasts.
Mike Tyson and Marley Maitland were on the same. It was after he bit Holyfield's ear.
Yeah.
And I said, Mike, why don't you bite Marley Maitland's ear? She has no use for it. That would have been.
Did that get done or no?
I don't watch any of the shows I work on because it's too.
That's a perfect joke. That's a fucking perfect roast joke.
There was a joke. There was a joke. Harvey Levin from TMZ is gay, I think, allegedly, supposedly, maybe, perhaps. Am I getting into trouble?
No, I think if anything, if TMZ covers you, it might help your career a little bit. So,
but is Harvey Levin a friend of Lindsey Graham's? I don't want.
I have no idea. I mean, I've seen TMZ. Right. He seems like he might be a homosexual.
Okay, but he's also a lawyer.
Okay.
And Jewish. So he may be litigious.
Yeah. Right.
So let's just erase that.
Okay.
So this has nothing to do with Harvey Levin whatsoever.
No, he's out of the picture.
He's not gay. He's not straight.
Not even Jewish.
TMZ doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
But there was a short gay man. Not Harvey Levin.
Not Harvey Levin.
Who we thought was going to do the roast. And he's gay. And the joke I wrote is, he's so short, you have to fuck him down the ass. He's so short, you have to fuck him down the ass, as opposed to up the ass. And this person who is not Harvey Levin, by the way, Harvey Levin, why would you want to have Harvey Levin on TMZ?
You're right.
On TMZ on a roast. Who would want that guy?
Well, and also, and if you did have on the roast, you did that joke, it wouldn't make sense because Harvey's not gay.
Harvey's not gay.
Yeah.
And even if he were, either way, he's a cocksucker. Harvey Levin. His career makes him a cocksucker no matter what. I mean, do we need Harvey Levin? Wouldn't the world be better off if there never was a Harvey Levin?
If you could get rid of 3 human beings on planet Earth and you think would create the greatest good for mankind, which ones would you just take out like a fucking cancerous tumor? Would he be one of the ones that you got rid of?
I have nothing against Harvey Levin. Who do I really? I mean, the people I hate. I mean, besides my kids.
Well, you have, how many kids do you have now?
16 now.
16 now.
16 kids. So
you've had 10 kids in the last 10 years.
Well, you're talking about my love life or my family? What are we talking about here? I'm done. The career's over, right? Was that the final nail in the coffin?
It sounded like it. There was a dull thud, and I thought, there's no more room left for nails. The coffin is completely full of nails.
Can we put a fork in me? I think I'm done. I don't think you can end something that doesn't exist. I don't think you can. I think
that should be the name of your next special, is Uncancelable.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really gets canceled for something they say. It's something you do.
What about Kramer?
You know, he allowed that to happen to him.
Yeah.
He could have salvaged that. I really do. I think it was horrible what he did. There are ways to repair that.
Yeah.
I'm being serious. He could have repaired that.
Yeah.
I think he didn't want to work anymore. It was horrible what he did. I felt 3 too many N-words being used. He went overboard with the number of. No, I think he could. I think a lot of African-American comics came to his defense. I think they were willing to rehabilitate him. I think, and I don't even think, what I remember is, I don't think he was doing it. Well, I don't want to get, but I think he could. Don't you think he could have salvaged that?
I don't remember how his apology went. I remember he did apologize, but then he sort of like acted like a wounded animal and crawled off into the shadows instead of like, disappear for a month and then come back after that month and do some positive projects, do a fucking PSA, or I don't know what your publicist would tell you to do, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way to come back from anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Horrible. It was horrible what he did. I think he thought he was being funny. Don't you?
No, he definitely did, because I was at that time in LA, he was doing sets, and he just had this thing in his head. It was a very performance art thing where he would say racial epithets to people in the audience. And I was there. Me and Louie were doing a show at the Improv, and Louie's dad was coming to see him for the first time. And this was like a week before the N-word thing happened. And we were at the Improv, and Louie's dad, who's Jewish, is sitting in the crowd, and Louie's kind of nervous, and he's going on after Kramer. Do we have to call him Kramer? What's his real name? Michael Richards.
The host of Jeopardy? You're talking about the guy who lasted on Jeopardy as host for... That guy's a piece of shit.
Which one's that?
The guy who was the host of Jeopardy for like...
Alex Trebek?
No. The guy who took over for Alex Trebek.
Oh, he was his producer and he took over?
We're scouring the nation to find the best replacement for Alex Trebek.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm the guy. It's like Dick Cheney vetting a vice president for George W. Bush.
Right.
I look for everybody. I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Michael Richards. And then it turns out Michael Richards said the kind of things I'm saying on your show, and they yanked him from Jeopardy.
But he went on in front of Louie's dad, and there was an old Jewish couple in the front row, not super old, but older. And he started screaming, "Kike, you fucking kikes," and a bunch of other Jewish slanders. And Louie's dad was horrified. And Louie was mortified that he had to go on, and like his dad didn't know what stand-up comedy clubs were like.
But doesn't CK stand for cocksucking kike?
Is that in Hebrew? Is that Hebrew?
Yeah, cocksucking kike. That's why he calls himself Louis CK. His father said, "How did he know my last name is Kike?" I would have, if I were Louis, I would have gone with cocksucking kike and not gone to CK.
Yeah. I mean, you have to get bigger posters for your shows, but it's fucking worth it. Because how many people are called that?
But Louis too cheap to spring for bigger posters, so he went with CK. He tried to save money on the letters.
Just so like you can say it, I can't say it. You're Jewish. I this is going to get cut out of the podcast of just me saying it. Who is your best black friend?
Who is?
Do you want me to rephrase it to who is your only black friend? You just drew a blank.
My oldest black friend?
Not oldest age-wise. Who's your best? Who's your best black friend?
Well, Jay, I don't want to bring up, Jay's not in show business, so I don't want to bring up Jay. So
you can't even come up with a name.
I don't.
One letter.
I happen to have I live in New York City. Of course I have black friends.
Jay. It's so mysterious. I can't talk about him. He's not in show business. Who's your best black friend in show business?
Well, my best Cameron, Chakta are two of my best. Sadie.
Oh, Sadie.
Yes, and Jay.
Jewish black guy. Or Sadie's a woman.
I don't want to give out their last names because they're not in. I want to protect their privacy.
Well, if they were really black, their last name, I'm going to say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Would just be X. I mean, if you're hanging out with like really hardcore black people, it would just be X.
Right. All right. I'm not going to do it.
Let's call this episode Two Old White Guys Holding Their Tongue.
This is the most I've ever held my tongue, and I'm an epileptic.
Let me ask you this, because you've known him for many years, not as long as I have, but I'm puzzled by him. Is Mike Gibbons gay?
Mike Gibbons?
Yeah.
Is Mike Gibbons gay?
Yeah.
I said to Mike years ago, I don't care what your sexuality is, just keep on sucking. That's what I said to him. I couldn't get, I think Mike Gibbons, he could be anything he wanted to be.
Yeah.
He could, like, if we went to prison.
Sure.
And quite frankly, he should. But that's not the question you asked.
Right.
You asked me, should Mike Gibbons go to prison?
Yeah.
You didn't ask me that question.
No.
Okay. You asked me, is he gay?
Yeah.
I think if there were justice in this world, he would be in prison right now. I don't need to tell you why.
No, you don't.
And I think he would fit in perfectly fine in prison.
Yeah.
And by fit in perfectly fine,
he'd be a top. Yeah.
He'd be a top. But it is amazing that he's never gone to prison. Isn't it?
It is. Anybody that knows him says the same thing. How is this guy not in prison?
Right.
It's like one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood.
Well, they say that prison creates career criminals, and maybe they're feeling like, why send them in to the joint to teach everybody new skills?
Right.
It's better. Society is safer with him on the outside than him on the inside with everyone inside of him while he has a big shit-eating grin.
How would you survive in prison if you got put away, say for like 20 years? How would you get by?
With a shit-eating grin. What does shit-eating grin mean? Like you're grinning because you
that is a very weird phrase. Yeah.
I love eating shit. Why am I grinning? Because I love the taste of poop.
It should be a shit-eating frown, shouldn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A shit-eating grin. Or maybe that's like maybe somebody saw Billy Crystal.
Uh-huh.
Billy Crystal has like a shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
It's like his smile is like he just ate some bad shit as opposed to good shit.
Yeah, right. Good quality shit.
Quality shit. What was your question?
I wanted to know how you would get by in prison. If you had to do hard time, what skills would you use to get through prison?
I would look for the toughest guy in the yard, drop my pants, bend over and say, go ahead. Why? Let's just do away with all the foreplay. It's going to happen. Let's just get it over with.
I was going to punch you in the face as hard as I could, but I think that'll just make you fuck me harder later.
Yeah. So let's just do it.
Let's do it a little gentle.
Yeah. If I went to prison, you know what? I don't even think I could get laid in prison. I think I honestly believe that no guy would want to fuck me.
Yeah.
No woman wants to fuck me on the outside.
Yeah.
No guy's going to want to fuck me on the inside.
And you're not hard on the eyes. It's your personality.
So, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd have it pretty good in terms of not getting raped in prison. I honestly believe no man would be attracted to me.
Yeah. They probably just come to you for legal advice.
Yeah.
Once they found out you were Jewish.
And financial advice too.
Yeah, right. Because they have a lot of finances they're trying to manage on the inside. Yeah. How many cigarettes should I pay for a blowjob? All right. I have a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
So just, this is not. All right. Have you ever joined a club? Do you belong to any clubs?
I have a recurring dream that I belong to the Friars Club. I'm serious.
But you don't belong to the Friars Club.
I do not belong to the Friars Club. I belonged to the Equinox, the health club place.
Okay.
For a while. Uh-huh. Does that count as a club?
No. Because I know you never went.
Does the clan count?
Clan definitely counts.
Okay.
That's a resume stuffer.
I was the accountant for the Grand Wizard.
That would be hilarious if even the KKK was like, now we got to get a Jewish guy for the accounting.
You can save a lot of money if these sheets were Dacron. I'm just saying.
These Duraflames are way more expensive than if you just bought a cord of wood and burn the crosses with that.
I'm an Orthodox Jew. Do you mind if I fuck my wife through the hole in your hood? I don't know what that means. something about.
So why did you never join the Friars Club? It's so much fun. I was a member of the Friars Club in New York, and I had so many good memories of that.
I couldn't afford. I've never had money.
They'll let you in. They'll let you in for almost nothing if you're a comic.
Right. I just don't have. I've never had enough money to do what normal people do.
Yeah.
So, you know, a country club. Are you talking about a country club?
No, like you could join a fucking. You could join AA. You could join. There's many anonymous groups you could join. That's like a club. You ever join an anonymous group?
Does my stand-up act, my career as a stand-up count? I don't think I've ever belonged to a club.
No.
I think I'd enjoy belonging to a country club.
Yeah.
That didn't allow Jews in. I think that would be kind of nice. I'd like to be the token Jew
at a
waspy a country club.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to be the only Jew at a country club.
Just to make people uncomfortable?
Yeah. And they would all laugh at me because they'd be nervous.
Right. Yeah. All right. So I thought you had money. I didn't know that you were always broke. You've always, you're very successful.
At the height of my, but when you're married as many times as I am, and the money seems to go out the window. Yeah. Instead of the wife and kids. It would have been better if the wife and kids went out the window instead of the money. Money you can hold on to forever. Yeah. Not a family. Right. That looking back, I wish I went for the money instead of love. I think you can put money in a box and come back 50 years later and it's still there for you. Yeah. The same cannot be said of people unless that box is a coffin and people change, people say things. Money, I think, money never hurt me. Yeah. Right. Money never said, I don't love you. Right. Yeah. Well, somebody peeling onions here? Jesus. And the thing is that's sad about you is that, you have so many kids that have disappointed you. I mean, 16, did you say? Are we talking about my family or my love life? All of it. I mean, your love life keeps leading to you having a bigger and bigger family. The thing is like nobody is a bigger pro-abortion guy than you. And it's just so that you'll stop having to pay for so many fucking kids. I am pro-abortion. How many abortions have you paid for in your life? Honestly, because I don't have to pay for abortions. I have portable staircases with banana peels on them. And I've never paid except for the price of, placing a portable staircase. Oh, you're pregnant. That's fine. Let's go out. Let's go for a walk. Except for the cost of moving my portable staircase, and the banana peels. The banana peel, yeah. Banana peels, right? It's much cheaper than Planned Parenthood. Just a portable staircase. And the best part is you have a snack after the abortion. You've got a nice little banana to eat. Yeah. I don't know. No, she just fell down my portable staircase. What do you mean abortion? She fell down a flight of portable stairs. It just happened to show up on her lawn 2 hours after she told me she was pregnant. What are the odds that she'd be pregnant
Now,
And 2 hours later,
how do you get her to the top of the stairs in a lawn? Like, how do you explain to her, I need you to go to the top of the stairs?
well, the
Doesn't
women
smell a rat?
right, yeah. There's like little cheese at the top. My rat face, dear. Just where should I retire now that my career is over? Miami? Where should I go? Portugal?
Well, that's the best part about the women you're dating today is they've all hit menopause. They're not going to get pregnant anymore.
What is menopause? I don't know that term. I've never been through that. I've never been with a woman going through menopause.
Oh, it's a joy. It's a joy.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Air conditioning in January, random bursts of anger.
That must be tough. That must be tough.
Here's another. Have you ever not finished a set on stage?
Not finished a set?
Yeah.
Of course. You've seen my act.
But have you ever walked off stage?
Of course.
You have?
Yes.
Tell me.
I was doing a Democratic fundraiser in San Francisco one night, and a woman threw a fork at me, and it hit me in the glasses. I was wearing glasses, and it hit me in the. I thought, and honestly, I wasn't in the mood to perform because they weren't paying me enough. I took umbrage, and I thought, you know what? The most cost-efficient move right now would be to walk off the stage and ruin this person's life for throwing a fork at my face. She wasn't really aiming from, I think she was just like aiming at my knees, but you know, I'm short, so she hit me in the.
It got away from her. Yeah.
It got away from her. And I thought, I don't want to do it. I got another 30 minutes of this shit. Just take umbrage that somebody hit you in the glasses with a fork. And she came back and she was crying.
Yeah.
It was great.
Do you remember the joke that made her throw the fork?
Well, I did this was back when I was doing jokes that, you know, taunted women a little.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Yeah.
I think the joke was, you know, women get 70 cents on the dollar, and that's disgraceful. And everybody applauded because it's Democrats. And I said, I think women should get 75 cents on the dollar. You're not laughing. That was the joke.
Oh, instead of 70, 75?
Yeah. Like everybody thought, do you realize women in America get 70 cents on the dollar? That is wrong. And all these Democrats start cheering, women deserve 75 cents on the dollar. And I hear clink in my glasses, a fork hits me in the eye. And I thought, get off on this. Play the victim card. And she came back and she was crying. I made her cry.
Well, she was probably hungry. She couldn't finish her dinner. She had no fork.
No, she was like the self-serving Democrat who could do no wrong. And she was censorious and always assumed she was politically correct and it was okay to throw something at a comic.
Yeah.
But it never occurred to her that it glasses. And had I not been wearing glasses, she could have poked an eye out.
Yeah. Like Kevin Meaney.
Yeah, you're right. And I just decided once I saw her crying.
Yeah.
And this is somebody who would cancel me in a second. I just milked it. I didn't say anything. I just played the injured party in all this.
That's great.
And the more she cried, I thought, I know your game. I know this woman's. You think I'm a fool? Go right to cry. White woman's tears. Is that what we're going to see now? And I just kept my mouth shut. I tortured her by not saying anything. I acted like I was shook up by the whole thing. The more I didn't address, I said, keep her away from me, please. It's okay. Everybody's apologizing. And they said she'd like to apologize. And she's in the dressing room. And I go, no, it's okay. If she could just keep her away from me, that would just be fine. And doing that, because, I'm supposed to yell at her and, and I said, no, you are not going to get anything from me to get you off the hook here.
Yeah.
I'm using complete victimhood here.
That's the best.
Please let me speak to him, please. I said, I really can't. It's too upsetting. And I never talked to her. She could not turn it. She was crying. She wanted to be the victim in all this.
Right.
And I wouldn't give it to her.
Right.
She threw
That's great.
the wrong fork at the wrong Jew. I thought, you're going down.
Oh, and her group, whatever group she was associated with, because you haven't joined any clubs. She joined a lot of clubs. She's a card. Her wallet is thick from all the card carrying memberships that she has.
Right.
Yeah.
And I knew that she starts crying, and her game was, if I could say one thing to her that was inappropriate, she could then say, I was wrong, but he had no right to say that to me.
Right.
And I said, just don't say anything.
Perfect.
Don't give her any ammunition.
I love it.
We had 3 kids together.
We only use spoons at dinner.
We only use. Have you ever tried being a victim?
Trying to think if there was a writing job where I played the victim. I did have an apple thrown at me. I was opening for They Might Be Giants at Ohio State University many years ago. And it was an outdoor show. Mm-hmm. It was like a spring fling, and they had kegs all over the field and a big stage. And I went up, and they were shit-faced. And I was, nobody was paying attention at all. So it was the same situation where, like, somebody threw an apple at. I said something like, there was a heckler, and I shit on the heckler, and it was the only enjoyable part of the show for me, was making fun of this heckler.
Nobody does better crowd work than you.
Oh, thank you. Nobody. Yeah. And so I'm yelling at the heckler, and then all of a sudden his friend threw an apple, and it hit me in the chest. And I just went, have a nice day. I don't have to finish this fucking set. I can walk off stage right now and get the check. Thank you.
Right.
I should have picked up the apple and eaten it on the way off the stage.
Mm-hmm.
What is the hackiest bit you've ever done in your life?
The hackiest bit?
Yeah.
Does my entire Comedy Central special count? The hackiest bit.
Is there one you cringe when you think back that you did, even if you only did it once or twice?
The hackiest bit I've ever done. Honestly, I don't have hacky material.
No,
I have unfunny material. I have jokes that will never get a laugh.
Uh-huh.
But to do something that, I think, when I was first starting out, I think I said Nancy Reagan is about as much fun as a sneeze in the middle of a piss. And for some reason that would get a laugh.
Yeah.
And I hated that bit.
Yeah.
And I remember auditioning for Letterman doing that bit. And this was like when he was on, NBC.
Yeah.
And it got a laugh but you can't do it on Letterman. And it was just a hacky bit. And I always went to it. For some reason, it got a laugh. She's as much fun as a sneeze in the middle of a piss. So, because it hurts when you pee.
Yeah.
If you sneeze, or if you have sex with some of the women who've dated me. You don't need to sneeze for a piss to hurt. You just need to have sex with a woman who previously had sex with me, and I can assure you it'll be painful while you pee.
Yeah, you stay in women's minds even after you break up with them. They still think about you all the time.
They think about me and the men who follow. Maybe it's the syphilis, my untreated syphilis.
So you have gone viral.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
All right, listen. Before we go, I want to talk about
I just finally got to talk about my syphilis. The show doesn't get started. I haven't even brought up my gonorrhea or my chlamydia.
It's a cocktail, isn't it?
It's a cocktail. That's how I think of the cocktail. All right, I won't.
Your load is a cocktail.
First of all, I want to apologize.
Yeah. For what?
Everything. Being unprepared, totally unprepared. I was looking forward to this because I love you. I really do. And it's always, every time we do this, it's better. It gets better and better and better. It's like the opposite of fisting. Right? When you fist, like the first time you fist, you go, okay, it'll be better. And then it's worse.
It's worse. Yes. Because you've got cuts from the previous time.
Right.
Yeah. Because people never fucking file their fingernails down enough before fisting. It's all I ask. It's the only thing I ask. I don't even ask for lube. Just a fucking little emery board.
The first time let me just tell you something. The first time you get fisted, that's as good as it's ever going to be. It's downhill after that. That's what I have found. By the way, I was in Juarez last night. I showed up late for the Donkey Show, and they fired me. And I don't think that's fair. That's from my act. That's one of my new bits. I showed up late for the Donkey Show, and they fired me. And people like to think I do like political humor. Those are the only jokes I want to do. Yeah. Jokes about working the Donkey Show. Yeah. Right. That's the only thing that makes me happy. Yeah. Jokes about the Donkey Show. But every Jew I know, work smart. What do you have to talk about getting fucked by a donkey? Right. We work smart. What about Carlin? Carlin threw in a lot of fart jokes and shit jokes. And, I think I think that Nancy Reagan joke I could hear coming right out of George Carlin's mouth. Have you seen Judd's documentary yet? No, I was supposed to go to the premiere and I was driving there. And then I noticed on the invitation, as I was like looking at my phone while driving, that it said you had to show proof of a COVID test from that day. And so I turned around and I left and I haven't seen it. Because you're an anti-vaxxer. Anti-Semitic. I mean, it's same thing. It was Judd. So although around Jews, you wear a mask. That's the one thing that's. All right, I want to talk about your podcast. I hear you're like doing marathon podcasts now. They're like, yes. How long are they and why? Because I'm out of my fucking mind. No, seriously, I'm out of my fucking mind. Yeah. And so I do 6 to 7 hours twice a week. No. Yeah. And in one sitting, 6 or 7 hours? Yes. No shit. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, no hit. Yeah. And how many guests do you have on? I do a different guest every half hour. It's just a marathon. That's like you can pop in anytime you want. It's kind of like the kind of show you would have listened to when you were a kid, like at midnight. Like I would listen to radio shows at midnight that just went till 6 a.m. Yeah. And Allison Steele, the Night Bird. Right. So I just have
Wolfman Jack used to do that midnight shift too.
Right. So that's the kind of show I'm going for, where I like to think that I'm helping people fall asleep, especially if they're behind the wheel of a car. I like to think there's somebody who's listening and they just go right off the road.
That should be your advertisement for the show. It's just pictures of head-on collisions, dead people, flames. These people listen to the David Feldman Show.
My show is like shitty fries at 11 o'clock at McDonald's. Like when the manager goes, we're going to throw these out, or you can have all of them for free. And you eat shitty fries, just like 6 cartons of fries, and then you have diarrhea for a month.
And the worst part is, and then you charge for it. You charge for your podcast.
No, I don't. I would never charge people for that shit.
No.
I would. I actually pay people to listen to it.
Wait, so who's your producer now? I know your producer, right?
Well, Alex.
I know Dan, Alex.
I have a crew now of people who are helping
really
on the show. We have a little community. It's a little community.
Nice.
A retirement community. Since COVID, we've built like a little community of losers, people like me who have nothing.
Yeah.
So I do a podcast because I'm angry and I have no life and I need to lash out at imaginary enemies, because the worst thing I could do is look in the mirror and realize the source of all my misfortune is I, David Feldman. It must be somebody else. It can't be me. So I lash out.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's wrong except David Feldman. Because if I ever had to deal with what a piece of shit I truly am, I couldn't get out of bed in the morning. I wake up every morning. I feel like shit. It must be somebody else's fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot to take on. It's so weird that you were raised by a mother that obviously cared about you a lot, loves the shit out of you. I don't know your relationship.
Still breastfeeding.
Still breastfeeding you. Now you get your neck gets sore though.
I have to lie down.
You have to lay on your back
like a snake while she stands over me for me to breastfeed. But it's worth it.
Yeah. Just that one drop. It takes a half hour, but you get that one drop.
That one drop. Yeah.
But, I don't know. What was your relationship with your father like? Is that where all this self-hatred comes from?
I love my dad. He used to, there was an expression he always used to say to me: if you call the police, we'll both get into trouble. That's what he used to say to me. And I never forgot that. Son, if you call the police, we will both get into trouble. Do you want daddy to go to prison? And I never forgot that. No, I love my dad. I did.
So where does all the self-hatred come from?
A mirror, other people, audiences. After a while, things begin to sink in. You go, oh, I get it.
There's a pattern here.
I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah. Right.
Message received.
Is it freeing? Is it freeing when you just own it?
That you're a piece of shit?
Yeah.
No, it's horrible being a piece of. There's nothing good about being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I've accepted it, and the acceptance, only a piece of shit would accept the fact that if they had a competition for the world's biggest piece of shit, I would come in second place, only because I'm a piece of shit, and pieces of shit never come in first. They don't win anything. But I just look at my career, my life, my relationships.
Yeah.
I just go, yeah, no doubt about it. I'm a piece of shit. They were right. They were right.
Who's they?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Just the audiences, club owners,
Right.
bosses, wives.
Yeah.
The only person who doesn't think I'm a piece of shit is my mother. And that's only because she's a piece of shit.
Thank God you got your black friends anyway.
I got all my black friends.
All right, David Feldman, you're a pleasure. I've been wiping tears for an hour. You're the best.
I've just been wiping. That's what I've been doing. I wipe to keep in the game. Like when I'm driving and I'm falling asleep, that's what keeps me going. I wipe.
All right, I'll see you soon. Let me know. I'll be in New York this summer. I'll give you a shout.
Let's get COVID. What kind of?
Oh, you didn't hear? It's over. It's over.
It is?
Yeah. We stopped wearing masks. It must be over, right?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. We decided in 2022 that it's over.
But we beat it then.
Yeah, we must have beat it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Because now you can go on the plane without a mask, and you
suppose you want to hijack it.
Yeah, I know. It just got a little easier.
I'm wearing a mask. I love you. Do my show.
All right, I'll do it anytime. Every
time we do this, it's better. I'm just trying to think, how many sleepless nights am I going to have because of this? I'm going to go over everything I said and figure, what is she going to find? What is she going to find?
I'll edit everything bad out, and then we'll publish the 4-minute podcast next Tuesday. All right, my friend. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, man.